Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Barry back with you for another edition of Monday Night Live. We do not have a babysitter this evening, so Nisha is tending to young Beckett. They're going to make a guest appearance later in this video. If you're watching this on the replay, glad to have you. You're always welcome to share these videos on your social media of choice to help me reach more people with this very important health message. This evening, we are going to be talking about the proper human diet for optimum health. And I think that's a very important topic that doesn't get talked about enough by doctors, definitely. And also, I think by nutritionists and dietitians. Everybody is always trying to make you feel comfortable and safe about your diet. They're trying to not judge you, right? And what I'm trying to do here is a little different from that. There are dietitians that'll say, well, I mean, if you want to eat a donut, you should love yourself and not judge yourself and not be hard on yourself. And I'm not going to judge you. But and so in an alternate reality, here I am saying, hey, I'm not going to judge you, but eating a donut's stupid. That's dumb. That's not going to do anything to improve your health, but it's actually going to harm your health. So I would strongly advise you not eat the damn donut. And so my strategy is a little different. My tactics are a little different. I might come across a little different, but I don't want it to ever come across that I don't care or that I'm judging you or that I'm trying to shame you in some way. This has nothing to do with guilt or blame or atonement. This is me trying to help you attain your optimum health. And in order to do that and do it in as quick a manner as possible, I have to be honest with you, right? I have to be sometimes bluntly honest with you, just like I am with myself quite often in the mirror and say, hey, dummy, what are you doing? That's dumb. Don't do that. And so just take comfort in knowing that when I talk to you like that, that's exactly how I talk to me. That's how I communicate. So I'm never being mean or disrespectful, I promise you. I'm just trying to help you understand this is a big deal. The food that you eat is important. It does matter every day, every meal, every bite matters in some degree, in some percentage. So if you currently have a primary care physician or a dietitian who's saying, well, you should eat the rainbow. You shouldn't deny yourself. Shouldn't deny yourself what? Disease? Well, you shouldn't, you should take care of yourself. What, by eating slow poison? I don't get that logic. And so I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm trying to optimize you. Now, before we get started, please tell me where in the world you're watching from. What city, what state, what country? I said earlier, I'll say again, we don't have Pedro and Miss Solace with us this evening. And so Nisha is having to watch baby Beckett. He's in the middle of a nap. Hopefully he will wake before this video is over and they can come say hi. We're planning on that. I think he'll wake up near the end. So you'll get a little bit of baby Beckett time. Don't worry. All right, let's see what's going on here. We've got San Antonio, Texas in the house. We've got, who else do we have here? Lexington, Tennessee. Hello, neighbor. Ogden, Utah, somewhere in Oklahoma. I don't know how to pronounce that. Atlanta. That's it. Nobody in another country, huh? There's Alberta. There's Canada. There's Cuba, Montana. We have a Cuba landing in Tennessee. So Franklin, North Carolina, Chandler, Arizona. All right. Oh, there's Cheshire, England. All right, guys. So let's talk about this. It's very simple. Human beings are a low carbohydrate mammal by design. We are designed or evolved to eat a low carbohydrate diet. We are made to eat and digest lots of fatty meat. We can digest vegetables and plants. Some of us don't do well at that. Others of us seemingly do okay with plants. Some of us can eat nuts and seeds and cheese to our heart's content and put a little bit of coffee in our heavy whipping cream. Others have to not eat any of that stuff and just stick to almost exclusively fatty meat. This is a spectrum. The proper human diet is a spectrum. It's not a single diet for everyone. I've had a guy on Twitter today saying that you're just trying to advocate a single diet for everyone. No, I'm not. I've said hundreds of times that the proper human diet is a spectrum of a diet. There we go. So over here, you might be pure, strict carnivore. You only eat fatty, red, ruminant meat and drink water, maybe use some salt, and that's it. That's your diet. And if you stray from that, your chronic diseases start to flare up. All the way over to the other side, there are some of us who can eat an ovo-lacto pescatarian. So a vegetarian diet, lots of green veg with nuts, and add a few fish, add some eggs, add some cheese, and that's the perfect diet for you at this point in your journey. And I think that's important to kind of harp on for a second, is this point in your journey. That's actually important. Back when I was first starting keto, I was using fat bombs and I was putting a little coffee in my heavy cream, eating tons of cheese, not the really best quality cheese either, Velveeta and string cheese and stupid crap like that. That worked for a while, but then that stopped working. And from my perspective back then, I considered that a stall. I was stalled. I couldn't lose any more weight. I still had some inflammation, still had a little bit of reflux, but that really wasn't a stall. Basically, what I had done is I had reached the maximum of potential for that particular point on the spectrum of the proper human diet. So I could either be happy with because I definitely felt better than I did when I was eating the stupid American diet, but I still felt like I could feel better. So I had a choice to make. I could have very well said, and many people do, I feel good enough right here. I'm not giving up my nuts and my cheese, my Velveeta, fake cheese. I'm not giving up my spaghetti squash and my, I love this stuff. I'm okay. I'm going to stay here. And that's a valid choice. As long as you understand that is a choice. But I wanted to feel better. And so I kept removing things from my diet. And at no point did I feel that was restrictive, because at each point, after each removal, I felt better physically and mentally. And that's not restriction. I don't feel restricted. I don't feel like I'm being punished. I don't feel like I'm, missing out. I mean, if you offered me the most yummy queso made of Velveeta right now, I would happily say, nah, I don't think so, because I know that's going to flare up my heartburn and my reflux, and I'm going to start to have little joint aches. And I would rather be pain-free than eat that delicious Velveeta queso. Does that make sense? And so at any point on the spectrum of finding your optimal diet, you may compromise, and that's okay. You're a grown-up. You get to do that. You might say, no, look, I understand I might feel better if I went strict carnivore, but I want to eat these foods, and I'm happy. I'm content with how I feel. So I'm not going to keep going. I'm not going to keep moving on the spectrum. I'm going to stay here. And I think that's that's rational. We all get to make decisions like that every day where we compromise, right? Geek Speak says, any recommendations to help people with the psychological struggles of zero carbon carnivore? I'm weeks in and feel great. I only had 2 rough days. Yeah. And so really, most people notice such an improvement, Geek Speak 10, with the carnivore diet, such an improvement in their mental ability, in their mental status, in their emotional status, in their mood, that it's really not a struggle. And I've had hundreds of carnivores reach out to me and tell me, I used to take 1, 2, or 3 medications for my mental health, and now I don't take any, or I take one at half the strength it was before. So, for some people with really severe carbohydrate addiction, it's a struggle to break that addiction. But any addiction is hard to break, right? Whether it's caffeine, nicotine, or a stronger addiction, they all suck when you have to break that addiction. But if you're eating processed carbohydrates, and for some of us, even the ground up nut flours like almond flour are a little bit too much highly processed carbohydrate, and it can have addictive qualities for us. So I don't really consider it. I think the benefits of moving towards carnivore on the proper human diet spectrum virtually always outweigh any struggles that you might have. Does keto, whoa, where'd that go? Man, they're going fast. I'm sorry about that. Type it again. I'll try to catch it next time. Thoughts on grass finished red meat and colon cancer, please. Rose, I actually have a YouTube video about colon cancer and eating meat. You'll hear a lot of people say that eating meat increases your risk of cancer, any cancer, or just colon cancer, or heart disease. Those are very common myths out there. But when you actually look and say, well, what research are you talking about? They're going to tell you. And then when you go look it up, you're going to realize that that's the exact same research I talked about in my YouTube video. It's observational epidemiological research, which can never prove anything. All it can do is show possible associations. Okay. So if I see a butterfly right before I fall down the stairs, it would be a superstitious thought. Well, maybe the butterfly, maybe that it was so that made me fall down the stairs. Well, no, I just tripped and fell down the stairs. But those two things are associated. But just because two things are associated does not mean one caused the other. And all the research that they're using, Rose, is associational research. It does not prove anything. Even the stuff that the World Health Organization is talking about, when you actually look at the research, it's association. There is no causation proving research in the whole world. Never has there been a study that showed causatively that eating meat increases your risk of cancer. It's never been shown in any research. It's a myth. It's a fad currently to believe that in medical and nutritional circles. A lot of people believe it. Millions of people believe it. But there's no research that proves it, Rose. So stop worrying about that. Eat your meat. Rudy wants to know, is Topo Chico safe to drink? As far as I know, Rudy, I love Topo Chico. It's a sparkling water. For those of you who don't know, we like to drink Gerald Steiner, Topo Chico, San Pellegrino, Perrier. I love mineral water, sparkling water. And to my knowledge, Rudy, there's no danger from drinking it. All right, let's see what else is going on here, guys. Make an NMO video. What's NMO? Bill Kersey says, thank you for these videos. I've been carnivore since April and I'm doing well. What's the best way to get my wife off the SAD diet? Excellent question, Bill. So there's a lot of husbands who have that question. How can I get my wife to stop eating junk? And there are also a lot of wives who have that question. How can I get my stupid husband to quit eating junk? The answer is to completely fix your own health. Lead by example. So don't be sitting over there in the recliner with your beer belly sticking out, telling her she needs to eat carnivore. If you still got your beer belly, then it's not time to be giving advice yet. You just take care of you and don't judge her. Let her eat what she wants for now, because eating anything for a month or two is not going to be the end of the world. But as she sees your belly go away, and as she sees your love handles go away, and as she sees you mentally and emotionally get sharper and clearer and better and more dependable and a better memory that you actually remember to pick up the dry cleaning, she's gonna notice that. Trust me, she'll notice that. Okay. And when you've made enough improvement in your personal, physical, and mental health, she's gonna come around. We've got 3 teenage daughters, one in her early 20s now, and 2 out of the 3 are now keto or ketovore, almost carnivore, because they've seen Nisha and I have amazing results. And we're still working on that other one. Thank you, Tanya, for that super chat. Thanks so much for the stars and the super chats, guys. It means so much when you reach out like that. Luke C says, fruitarian. I'm not sure. I wish you had typed me a complete sentence, Luke C. On a fruitarian diet, it is impossible for you to get the fatty acids that your brain and your nerves and the rest of your body need. There are essential fatty acids that you must have, and you can only get all of them in the proper ratios from eating meat, Luke. Sorry. Fruitarians also are very, very often not getting a complete amino acid profile. There are a list of essential amino acids. You have to get them from your diet. You cannot make them. Fruitarians are very, very often cachectic because they're very slender, they're very skinny, they have almost no muscle tone, and they almost always have a little belly pooch, even though they're very skinny. So they have central adiposity. They have fat in their liver and fat inside their belly, but they are very slender and bony and have no fat anywhere else. This is a very unhealthy lifestyle, not conducive to a happy life or a long life. Good question. What else we got here? Got that one. Blove212 says, how do you combat blood sugar dropping while going on carnivore? So, Blove, if you're not injecting any insulin into your body, which I doubt you are, then your liver can start to make glucose at a moment's notice. So if your blood sugar starts to drop, your liver is going to make glucose immediately. Within seconds, it's going to make enough so that your blood sugar does not drop to a dangerous level. Now, if you're a type 1 diabetic on insulin, or you were a type 2 diabetic on insulin, then you can have low blood sugars, but it's not because of the carnivore diet. It's because of the insulin. You injected too much, and then you didn't eat enough carbohydrates to match that. So that doesn't mean eat more carbohydrates. That means eat fewer carbohydrates and don't inject as much insulin. And that's why type 2 diabetics can get off insulin very, very quickly with a keto or a carnivore diet. John says, will a liver supplement break a fast? That's a good question. Liver supplements, if they're freeze-dried like ancestral supplements, they probably contain enough protein that they might meaningfully raise your insulin level, maybe. I don't know. I'm sure that hasn't been studied, but that's possible. I would take the liver supplements with your meal. That's what I would do, and that way you don't risk breaking your fast. Good question, John. Oh, please share. What are some safe veggies or fruit to eat for a strict carnivore? So, Chuck, a carnivore doesn't eat any fruits or veggies. And they've decided to do that either for the ultimate in fat loss, or they have an autoimmune condition that is such that when they eat fruits or veggies, they have a flare-up of their autoimmune condition. So they not only do they not miss out on fruits and veg, they're very happy not to have flare-ups of their autoimmune condition. So most carnivores, they don't look for safe veggies or fruits because they don't need them, because they're getting all the nutrition they need from the carnivore diet. Man, these are going fast. Laura's asking about the mineral drops. If you guys don't know, Keto Chow has a new product. It is a mineral drop, and a tablespoon a day gives you a full list of all the essential minerals that your body needs. And then it also has multiple little trace minerals that there's not an established essential need for, but yet we know that the human body still needs them. I don't know if I have a link in the show notes down below, but yeah, I do. It says mineral drops. Yeah, if you want to check that out. But they're just about the cheapest mineral drop on the market, and they have way more minerals than most of the other mineral drops. You can take them on an empty stomach. A lot of people put them in their fasting coffee, their fasting unsweet tea, or their fasting water, and they just taste salty. And so if a salty flavor, if you think that might cause you to have nausea, then you don't have to take them on an empty stomach, but you absolutely can use them just like the electrolyte drops, because they have all the electrolytes in them, but they also have all the other minerals as well. Let's see what else we got here. And you, as always, you guys are more than welcome to share this video, to start a watch party. You can share it anywhere on social media that you think it will do some good. Whoa, Beth, where'd you go? Dang it. There it is. Beth says, can you cook with the mineral drops? And that, absolutely, yes, Beth. These are minerals, and so they will not break down by cooking them. And I actually use these mineral drops like salt. And so when I broke my fast today at 3 p.m., I had 2 big ribeye steaks. And after they had seared good, I cooked them in bacon grease in the skillet so they get that crust on them. You know that, oh, I love that when the fat gets crusty. And then when they were done, I just took the bottle of minerals and just squirted that on top of my steak. It just tastes like salt. But not only was I getting sodium and chloride, but I was also getting magnesium, potassium, cobalt, manganese, iodine, and all the other minerals that we need. So I love that. And that's also a great ninja trick. You know, I love my ninja tricks. If you have a family member who's not eating keto and they don't want any of those mineral drops and, you know, they're just an old stogie, you can, when they're cooking their macaroni and cheese, you can just walk by and put a squirt of mineral drops in there. And so that, now, don't hear me wrong, that don't make the macaroni and cheese keto, but it does help them get some minerals in their diet, because macaroni and cheese ain't got no minerals at all. Okay. But if you walk by and squirt a teaspoon in there, they just got some iodine and molybdenum and potassium and all these other things that they absolutely need to help to improve, hopefully improve their mental function enough that they'll stop eating the damn mac and cheese. Right. But yeah, you definitely can cook with them. Let's see, guys, what's going on here. Yeah, Sandy, I don't think everybody needs the mineral drops. That's a good question. But people who are still eating paleo, low carb, a lot of times they're still not eating enough organ meats to get everything they need. The mineral drops can serve as a very useful bridge for people like that. It's a good question. Who is this? Ada Kadane says, thanks for the great videos on NAFLD. That's fatty liver. So sad to see how much this disease is blown off by family doctors and internal medicine doctors and GPs. I totally agree. Their sentiment is that it cannot be reversed, even though there are so many people that have. Why do you think this is? Well, the reason that it is because it has not appeared in the 1 or 2 medical journals that they read yet. Many doctors never raise their nose up out of their rut. They put their nose down and they just stay in their family practice lane, or they stay in their orthopedics lane, or they stay. A lot of people do that. But the problem is, as a doctor, especially a primary care doctor, you've got to know a lot about a lot of different things. I used to do a lot of CME, or continuing medical education, on audio cassette back when it was actually cassette. Remember those things? You'd have to put the pencil in and turn it. And so I was subscribed to the family practice edition, but I was also subscribed to the obstetrics edition and the orthopedics edition and the psychiatric edition, because a family doctor needs to know about all that stuff. And I feel like that's true about all doctors in general. I don't care if you are a cranial orthopedic surgeon, all you do is operate on skulls and that's it, nothing else. You still need to know about the rest of the human body. You can't just be like a dentist and just know about teeth and nothing else. Don't be offended, dentists. I know you know about more than that. But you gotta understand the entire human body. And most doctors read 1 or 2 medical journals, and that's it. And so until an article, Ada, appears in whatever medical journal they read, they'll have no idea, because they never get on Twitter and read other doctors' posts. They never get on YouTube. They never read outside of their specialty. So they don't know this stuff. They don't know it exists. And then when a patient comes and says, yeah, I want to reverse my fatty liver, they think you're crazy. Like, what are you talking about? You believe in Santa Claus. But the truth of the matter is, you can absolutely reverse your fatty liver. I've never seen a case that could not be reversed with either a keto diet or a carnivore diet. Every single one. Some are reversed in a few days, some in a few weeks, some in a few months. All fatty liver is reversible if it's just NAFLD. Now, if you've got fatty liver and you're also drinking a fifth of vodka a day, that's part of the reason you have fatty liver. So you need to stop that too. Thank you for that super chat. All right, let's see what else is going on here. John Lee says he only misses Marlboro and Jack Daniels together. Okay, John Lee, what are you talking about? What do I eat if I get a cold or a flu or food poisoning? What replaces the brat diet? And for those of you who don't know, the brat diet is bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast. Isn't that right? I never recommended that diet, even when I was a young and stupid doctor, because it makes no sense. Those are very complex foods that are going to irritate and stimulate your gut. If you've got a cold or a flu or food poisoning or a 2-day stomach flu, I recommend you fast. You don't need any food. Now, if you have such a low body fat percentage that you can see your blood vessels in your abdominal muscles, then you might need to not fast. But if you're like the majority of us and you've got a little extra pudge here and there, if you come down with a cold or a flu or a stomach flu or any kind of GI bug or food poisoning, you just need to fast for 2 or 3 days and sip on some salty water. That's all your body needs is electrolytes. You can even put the mineral drops in water, sip on that. You're getting all your electrolytes and minerals, and you're letting your gut rest, which is what it really needs to do. When you fast, you actually heal faster. So why would you want to eat bananas, rice, applesauce, and toast? I never have understood that, but a lot of doctors preach it big time. David says, does the keto diet change any as one becomes elderly? It's an excellent question, David. So I think as people get older, and I don't know at what age being elderly begins, because it sure the hell ain't 50. I can tell you that. Maybe 60, 70, 80, 90. How old is elderly anyway? Somebody tell me in the comments. I think as you get older, you should really, really focus on getting enough high quality animal protein. So you need to really focus on eating the extra meat as you age, David. So if you're keto, if you're like I talked about earlier, if you're ovo-lacto-pescatarian after the age of probably 40 or 50, to prevent you from losing muscle and losing bone density, you need to add red meat to your diet. You need to add ruminant meat so that you can get the ultimate source of protein that's in the universe that I know of. No protein powder, no collagen powder, none of that, no protein bar, protein shake, none of that crap is the best protein. The best protein in the world is T-bone and ribeye. Hey guys, who's ready to see Nisha and baby Beckett? There they are. Hi, you baby.
Do not mind the way I look. All we've done today is lay around and snuggle. I didn't take a shower until 5 o'clock, and my hair is still wet. So,
but you're still beautiful. Yeah, we're trying to figure out at what age are you elderly. Nikki says that's not elderly. 67 is not elderly.
No.
I agree. I mean, what age is elderly, you guys? 69 is not, 63 is not, 70 is not. I agree. I think elderly is more a state of mind than anything else. When you decide to lay in the recliner and act old, you're elderly, whether you're 25 or 95. Robert says, hi, I have been doing the Atkins diet religiously, walk 2 miles, bike to work, no weight loss, please help. But now, Robert, you also haven't had any weight gain either, have you? And that's a big victory. Come here to me. What are you talking about anyway? Look, you see that baby? Look at that baby. See that baby?
Can you blow a kiss?
Blow him a kiss.
That way.
Blow that baby a kiss.
Look over here. This way.
Blow that baby. Blow him a kiss.
You just did it. There you go.
So good.
Good job.
That's so good. Show him your muscle.
He's still blowing kisses.
Show him. Yeah. What about clapping? You want to clap? Can you clap?
Yay!
Very well done.
You just woke up and ate, so you're feeling pretty good.
Good baby. Good baby. Let's see what else we got here. Thanks, Francis, for the super sticker. Thank you, Robert, for that. Yeah. What? All right. Yeah, Beckett's pretty cute. He's way cuter than I am. I used to be that cute. I was that cute. He is pretty smart. Yeah, he eats lots of meat and eggs and cheese. Okay, good question from Bill. If you reverse insulin resistance, are you no longer diabetic? As in, you will react as normal to carbs. Now, this is a good question, Bill, because remember earlier in this video, I said human beings are by design or by evolution low carbohydrate mammals. Eating lots of carbohydrates is never appropriate. It's never normal. We were never supposed to eat a diet with 200 or 300 grams of carbohydrates in it per day, Bill. That's a fad that the big food corporations are happy to promote because they make billions of dollars selling you high carbohydrate foods. So the average human life was during the winter, you ate nothing but meat and maybe a potato you dug up or two all winter long, but you ate predominantly meat, fatty meat, lots of fat. And the same thing in the spring, and then same thing in the summer. And you might add some herbs and some green stuff in the summer because it's growing now, but the majority of your diet was meat. Then in the fall, the berries got ripe and the fruit got ripe, and you ate as much of that high carb food as you possibly could so that you could gain 5 or 20 pounds for the winter. You wanted to gain fat in the fall because if you went into the winter very slender, you might possibly starve to death. So the only time it's appropriate to eat a high carbohydrate diet, Bill, is if you're trying to put on fat, because that's what human beings have used carbohydrates for as a tool. Back 1,000 years ago when we were smart, we used carbs like that as a tool. We would eat them to get fat for the winter so we didn't starve to death. We would have that stored fat to burn as fuel. But now that Kellogg's and Kraft and all these guys are in charge, Pepsi and Coke, they teach you, oh, you've got to eat lots of oats and whole grains. You got to eat lots of carbs. And so we've come to believe that's normal. And you can tell from Bill's questions, what he's trying to say is, can I reverse my insulin resistance and then go back to eating carbs as normal? But that's the problem, Bill. Eating lots of carbs like that is not normal. We've been brainwashed into thinking that's normal. That's a great question. Thank you for that. Yeah, Beckett's pretty smart. I'll tell you what. What else is going on? Eva says she wants me as her doctor. Some doctors around here where I live have 0 sense. I'm not that far from you. Eva, honey, I've met lots of doctors in my life, and a whole bunch of them don't got no sense. And it's not that they're not smart. It's that they've lost their curiosity and they've lost their desire to learn. A doctor that's worth a damn is going to be a lifelong learner. They're always going to be learning about this new procedure and that new drug. But also, if there's a lot of tussle on Twitter about some new diet that's reversing fatty liver, you can guarantee that a good doctor, a smart doctor, is going to be looking at that going, what? What are they talking about here? Keto? Let me Google that. What is keto diet reverses fatty? That's what a good doctor does, Eva. A lot of doctors get bored. They get in a rut. They lose their curiosity. And so when a patient like you comes in and says, hey, I reversed my fatty liver with keto, they're not even curious about that. I mean, what doctor wouldn't be like, what? You did what? I thought, what? But that they've just lost that. And so hopefully with enough patients like you going to your doctor and saying, hey, you haven't heard of that? I mean, what do you do when you go home? Do you just play golf and watch CNN? You don't read? You don't Google stuff? Because you should, because there's a lot of new stuff out there. Thank you for that, Eva. I had to vent just a little bit there, didn't I? Let's see. Yeah, there's a good question. I actually have a YouTube video about hair loss on the keto diet. So Brenda said, lost a lot of hair. Is this due to the rapid weight loss? 100% yes, Brenda. It is well known for weight loss surgery doctors, bariatric surgeons, and anybody who helps people lose a lot of weight. There is always going to be some hair loss with that, regardless of the diet. I could lock you in my barn and just feed you lettuce and water. You would lose weight fast, right? But you would have a ton of hair loss because not only are you losing weight really fast, but also the diet I'm feeding you is not nutritionally adequate. There's no amino acids and fatty acids in that diet for you to build new hair follicles with. And so, in my experience, if you're losing a lot of weight on keto, you will have some hair loss. But the hair loss I see from keto is not nearly the degree of hair loss that I saw for somebody who had a Roux-en-Y, gastric bypass. They lose hair like literally it's handfuls of hair for months. The problem is it very often never really grows back as thick and full as it could, because their stomach's so tiny now because it's been stapled shut or chopped out. They can't eat enough food to get enough good nutritionally, and so they always have thin hair. Whereas what I see with the keto diet, Brenda, is after a few months, the hair loss stops and then the hair regrowth begins. I wish Nisha was in here now. I would show you her baby hair. Another time when women lose a lot of hair is after childbirth. The first few months after childbirth, women can lose a ton of hair. And Nisha did, but because she's a ketovore, which means she eats keto with just almost nothing but meat, she's got these tufts of baby hair that are 3 inches long. I measured them yesterday. And they started right after she stopped losing hair. And now, I mean, it is the thickest. When her hair grows back out, she is going to have a head of hair that she could be the girl in the circus who they, hold by a rope by their hair and swing them around. She's going to have so much hair. So the beautiful thing about keto is if you lose rapid weight, you will lose some hair. I've got a YouTube video you can watch that explains in detail. And there's actually, I posted links to research showing that anybody who loses a lot of weight is going to lose hair. That's a normal physiological reaction. But with keto or carnivore, you're getting all your amino acids, you're getting all your fatty acids, you're getting all your vitamins and minerals. Therefore, you're going to start growing back a beautiful, thick, luxurious head of hair much quicker than somebody who's eating a nutrient deficient starvation diet like Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig. And then also you're going to be able to eat full portions without gaining fat back because you're eating the proper human diet. And eating those full portions, you're going to get plenty of vitamins and minerals that'll help you grow beautiful, sexy hair. Thank you, Anita Allen. Thank you very much. Let's see if I've answered. Scuba Girl TL says, do you still see patients in private practice? If so, are you taking new patients or privately coaching? Scuba Girl TL, right now, I have a very, very tiny, limited private practice, and I'm not taking new patients. If it hadn't been for the virus and for the economic downturn, I would probably already have a small clinic open. But right now we're saving up our nickels and kind of waiting for the virus to die down so that you can have a normal practice. And at some point I am going to open a small private practice open to the public in the Nashville area in the next few months. But as long as this virus is doing all this, I'm just going to keep doing social media right now and wait for everything to kind of get back to normal. Thank you for that. All right, let's see what else is going on. Thank you, Aaron, for the super chat. Thanks so much for all the stars, guys. You guys are the best. American Princess asked one of my favorite questions. Is it okay for a diabetic to eat whole eggs with heart problems? Thank you. American Princess, you should 100% eat as many eggs as you enjoy every single day for the rest of your long, healthy life. Eating eggs in no way causes you to have diabetes. Eating eggs in no way causes diabetes to get worse. When you're eating eggs and not eating carbohydrates, your diabetes is actually going to improve. Eating eggs, the American Heart Association just came out and said just the other day in a press release that eating eggs has nothing to do with heart disease. There is no amount of eggs that you can eat to give yourself heart disease. Yet, you see how what I was talking about earlier, even though that's complete horse crap, people like American Princess, they've heard it from their mom and their next door neighbor and probably from their doctor, and they just believe that it's true. No, I'm a diabetic. I can't eat eggs. What are you talking about? 100%. Not only you can eat eggs, but you absolutely should eat eggs to help improve your health, improve your diabetes, improve your heart problems. The eggs didn't cause any of that, honey. It was the carbohydrates. that caused the diabetes unless you're type 1, in which case it was the carbohydrates that caused your diabetes to get worse. Eggs are a gift from the Creator. Okay, eggs are God's gift. If you didn't eat an egg today, that's your fault, not mine. Thank you for that question, American Princess. Hey, Sean said, smash that thumbs up button. That's right. Smash the thumbs up. All right. Claire says, can you discuss how to stop dizziness while intermittent fasting? Yeah, good question. Some people have dizziness when they fast. Now, if you're on any prescription medications, it's probably the combination of the prescription medicine and you fasting. It doesn't mean the fasting's bad for you. It means it's probably time to stop the medication or go have a conversation with your doctor. Very often people taking blood pressure medications. Fasting is amazing at lowering your blood pressure, and fasting is absolutely part of the proper human diet. But if you're on blood pressure medicines that lower your blood pressure, when you're fasting, your blood pressure is going to go down because you're fasting. Fasting is great for high blood pressure. So what you wind up with is your blood pressure is too low. It doesn't mean you shouldn't fast. It means that now that you know about the power of fasting, you can go back and talk to your doctor and say, hey, Bubba, I don't think I need this pill anymore because last time I was fasting, I got dizzy and I checked my blood pressure and it was 80/40. I think I don't need this pill anymore. And if the doctor says, well, you need to stop fasting and keep taking this pill, then you, my friend, need a new doctor. But if your doctor says, well, we'll try a trial without the blood pressure pill, check your blood pressure at home and make sure it's looking good and let me know, that's the sign of a good doctor. So you're going to keep that doctor and you're going to stop the blood pressure pill. Don't throw it away. Just put it up. And then check your blood pressure twice a day and write it down for your doctor like a good patient should. That's a good health partnership. That's how it should be. So, and so the other two reasons is if you're not getting enough salt in your diet, you could get dizzy, lightheaded, or if you're not getting enough electrolytes, you could get lightheaded or dizzy, or if you're not getting enough of some of the minerals, you could get lightheaded or dizzy when you fast. I don't think it means fasting is dangerous or bad for you or that you should not fast. I think that it means you need to just mind your salt, mind your electrolytes and minerals, and make sure that you're not taking a prescription medication that might lead to the dizziness. Thank you for that, Claire. Good question. Kevin Phillips says, please explain if and why straight alcohols, whiskey, vodka, are bad for losing weight. So, Kevin, I don't love vodka. I really like vodka, and I really like whiskey. I like Gentleman Jack whiskey, and I like Tito's vodka, and I like Hendrick's gin. But when alcohol is poison, Kevin, I'm sorry. It's just a fact. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. When you look at the human physiology, any amount of alcohol is poison. Now, having one mixed drink with a one shot of whiskey and a non-calorie mixer, is that going to kill you? No, it's not that strong of a poison. But what it does is it makes your liver pause the making of ketones. Your liver just says, oh my God, we've been poisoned. And so your liver basically pauses everything and is having to deal with getting the alcohol metabolized and get it out of your system, get it broken down, getting the formaldehyde and the ammonia that are created out of your system so your kidneys can pee them out. So in the process, your liver's not being able to make ketones. It's not being able to make glucose, which is important. You want your liver to make some glucose. And this one, I mean, alcohol is just not healthy. But you understand, I'm not a teetotaler. I'm telling you, I love Gentleman Jack whiskey. I like it. I don't love it. That just sounds bad to say, right? But I like it. And every now and then, Nisha and I'll have a mixed drink. But I understand that this is poison. This is not good for me. And so what I'm guessing, Kevin, is you like to have a drink or two every day. That's going to slow down your fat loss. It's going to slow down your autophagy. It's going to slow down all those things. Now, it's very possible to continue burning fat and losing weight if you're like doing Atkins and with alcohol, or you're doing keto or even carnivore with alcohol. That's possible. You can continue to lose fat. There's no doubt. The original Banting diet, I don't think he was a doctor. He was an undertaker. Yeah. He recommended eat lots of fatty meat and drink alcohol several times a day. He actually thought there was magic in the alcohol. There's not. The magic came from the foods that he was eating and the foods he was avoiding. But you can drink some alcohol and still lose weight, but that doesn't mean it's good for you. Thanks for that. Let's see. Amber says, have you ever seen or heard of patients with endometriosis and/or adenomyosis have symptoms go away or decrease when faithfully doing keto or carnivore? Yeah, Amber, I have been in contact with multiple women who had very large fibroids that got better and just slowly would shrink over the months. We've talked to multiple women who had quite severe endometriosis, and their symptoms with each cycle were less severe, less severe, less severe, as long as they were adhering. And really, if you have endometriosis or fibroids or adenomyosis, I really think you should be either ketovore or carnivore, at least until you calm that down and get it gone, get it in remission. And then if you want to try it and back in some veg, you can. I almost consider carnivore to be the therapeutic strength of keto, or like carnivore is prescription strength keto. So for the majority of people, keto is all you need. It works great. Lots of different delicious food. For some of us, we've got to tighten it up to the prescription strength keto, which is carnivore. And then once you've solved the problem, you can experiment with adding back in veg and see how it goes. Joanna says, should I be counting net carbs or total carbs for a keto diet? Now, this is a brilliant question, Joanna. Thank you for that. If you are currently counting net carbs and you're burning fat, you're losing weight, you're getting healthier, your inflammation's getting better, then keep doing that. If, however, you're counting net carbs and you've stalled, your healthy conditions are not improving, you're not feeling better, the scale's not moving, then you need to convert and count total carbs. Most people find that counting total carbs is easier. You don't have to do all the fiber manipulation. And then secondly, food manufacturers, they use net carbs to trick you. One time, my friend Kim Howerton, she's the ketonist on Facebook and YouTube, she actually calculated, she said, I'm going to eat 20 net carbs a day. And she was able to get 115 total carbs into a 20 net carb day. Understand? And so you think, oh, I'm eating 20 net, that's good, but you might be eating 100 total grams. And all the big food manufacturers will tell you fiber doesn't count. You don't have to count that. Yeah, fiber is partially digested in your small intestine and does contribute to the carbohydrate load. It's not 4 calories per gram like just a regular carbohydrate is. It's anywhere from 1.5 calories per gram up to, some of them are 3 calories per gram. The chicory root fiber and oat fiber and corn fiber, those things are 2 to 2.5 calories per gram of carbohydrate. So if you're going to do net carbs, then you need to count the fibers at least 0.5 gram of carbohydrates, because they absolutely are partially broken down in your small intestine. I think it's easier to count total carbs. But what's going on, Joanna, is there's keto bread now, there's keto cookies, there's keto milkshakes. The keto is becoming very popular. And so everybody's going to put keto in front of their thing. And they're going to hide all the sugar and fiber they can in there and try to keep the net carbs under 20. And it's going to be full of junk. Then also they're going to put wheat in there, which is absolutely inflammatory to the human body. Eating wheat's better than starving, but no way you'll ever get your optimal health eating wheat. But if there's wheat in the keto bread, but it's still under 20 grams, is that okay to eat? No. You have to mind your carbs, but you also have to mind the ingredients and the contents of what's in there and how that's going to affect your body. So if you're not stalled, Joanna, keep doing what you're doing. But if your health improvement is stalled or your weight loss is stalled, you need to start counting total carbs and keep it under 20 total carbs a day. Great question. Thank you for that. Let's see what else we got. Thank you, Blue Deckert, for the super chat. Oh, thank you guys for the stars. Let me see. Oh, yeah, great question. Cass says, can persons who have had pancreatitis more than once safely do keto or carnivore? The keto diet and the carnivore diet are the safest diets a human being can eat. They're in no way dangerous. The ketogenic diet and the carnivore diet are the proper human diet. There is nothing dangerous about them. They do not stress your body. They are not hard on any of your organs. They are the best diet for all of your organs. If so, for whatever reason you had pancreatitis in the past, whether it was alcohol, whether it was too much fructose, which can cause pancreatitis and kidney stones and gallstones, or you just ate too many total carbs, that's what caused your pancreatitis, unless you have a specific medical condition or genetic condition. Eating fatty meat will never cause you to have pancreatitis. That is proper human food. So don't be afraid of keto or carnivore. If you've had pancreatitis, yes, you can do keto. If you don't have a gallbladder, yes. If you don't have a thyroid, yes. If you've had gastric bypass, yes. Whatever medical condition you're about to ask me, can you do keto? I want to ask you a question. Are you a human being? If your answer is yes, then you can eat the proper human diet. Thank you for that, Cass. Let's see. We've got time for a few more questions. Carla says, how do we find a doctor like you? I have a video on YouTube. Surprise, surprise. It's called How to Find a Low Carb Doctor Near You. In this video, I've got 6 or 7 different web addresses that you can go to. And these are worldwide websites. It's not just in the US. You can type in your postcode or your zip code, and it will tell you where the nearest low carb, keto, carnivore doctor is. Just go to YouTube, search Dr. Berry, how to find a low carb doctor, and you'll see the video. Look down in the show notes, and you can click on each of the websites. Dietdoctor.com is one of those websites. And then you put in your zip code or your postcode, and it tells you, hey, there's a guy that's 27 miles up the road that's a low carb doctor. That's how you do it. Yeah, Joanna, I promise you, total carbs will never do you wrong. Total carbs will always, the total carbs are like a good man. They will always tell you the truth. They will not let you down. They will not betray you. They will not lie to you. Net carbs will cheat on you. Yes. Ray says, hit the thumb, hit the like. I love it. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, okay. So here's a common myth. Kim says, Dr. Berry, I was told by a pathologist whose wife is an oncologist that it is the hormones injected into the cattle that causes breast cancer. She did her own long-term study. Was she incorrect? Yes, respectfully, she was incorrect. But, well, now let me rephrase that. Currently, she is incorrect. In the past, for a few decades there, farmers were injecting their cows and chickens and pigs and every other animal they could get their hands on with all the growth hormones they could get them on, because they were legal for a while. They're now illegal to do that. They can't do any of that foolishness anymore. And even in the feedlots, which I'm not a fan of, I'll be glad when enough of us are buying local meat from local farmers and butchers that the feedlot owners can starve to death and get a job. That'd be fine with me. But even in the feedlots, they can't just willy-nilly give the cows and pigs and chickens antibiotics and growth hormone. They can't do that stuff anymore. The federal government has outlawed the majority of that. So it's not as bad as it used to be, Kim. Now, 20 years ago, yes, she was absolutely right. It might have increased the risk of breast cancer or other cancers, but all that stuff has been done away with now. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, stop sticking needles in those chicken butts, 100%. Oh, okay, here's a great question I'd like to address. Okay, Claire says, do saunas help? Yes. Getting sweaty in a sauna is amazingly healthful. Lots of health benefits from sweating in a sauna. But for those of you who are in my boat who can't afford a damn sauna, and you're like, well, I guess I'm screwed. I can't afford a sauna. Dr. Berry says it's really healthy. Guess what? It's not just sweating in a sauna that's healthy. It's any sweating. Okay. Anytime you're sweating, you can add, there are some toxins in our body, some heavy metals and stuff that you actually excrete 4 or 5 times faster in sweat than you do in urine. You will urinate out whatever it is very slowly, but when you sweat, it really comes out a lot quicker. Sweating is very good for getting rid of any kind of heavy metals or other things that your body has an over buildup of. But it doesn't have to be in a $10,000 sauna. You don't have to get a gym membership and go to the sauna. You can literally just go outside and mow the yard in the sun. So you be sweating, right? That's sweat. A good thing you could do in the house I used to live in is just pull down the attic stairs and go sit up in the attic for about 10 minutes because it was about 140 degrees up there. And I could have done that every day for free. You understand? Go if your car's sitting out in the driveway in the sun, go sit in your car for 10 minutes. I guarantee you it's about 120 in there. You'll sweat, and you'll sweat out the same heavy metals and toxins that you would have sweated out in the expensive sauna. So 100% yes, but a lot of influencers out there, they've got an affiliate code and a link, and they're trying to sell. I saw one. I saw one. It looked like a zip up pup tent. And I guess you put hot rocks in it. I don't know how the thing didn't melt, but you put up your little pop-up tent, and then I guess, I don't know, put some hot rocks and you zipped it up. So you're like in a little pup tent in the middle of your bedroom, and that they call that a sauna. And this influencer is like, you can get 20% off. And I was like, I'll pay you $20 to keep it. How about that? But you don't need any of that stuff. None of that stuff is necessary. It's the same way with the red light therapy thing. There definitely is research showing that red light therapy is good for you, but all you got to do to get red light, you know how you do it for free? Go outside and take your shirt off in the sun. That is the ultimate. It has the full spectrum of light. And during the daylight, during daytime, you need red light and blue light. So go out in the sun, take your shirt off. There is no red light that you can hang on your bathroom wall that's better than the sun. Save your money. Just get some sun and then go sit up in the attic for 10 minutes and sweat. Boom, you're golden. And you didn't spend a penny. I'm always trying to save you guys money. You know that. All right, guys. That's going to do it for this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. Now, tomorrow night, Nisha and I will be live at 6 p.m. Central Standard in our private Facebook group. And the way you get in that group is to either be a Facebook subscriber or supporter. Forget which they call it. Or you can be a patron on patreon.com. Either way, and that gets you in that. So if you didn't get enough of me and running my mouth tonight, you can actually join us tomorrow night, and we do the whole thing is Q&A, and there's way less people, and so we get to answer almost everybody's question that has a question. So if you want to do that, that's there. If you don't, I'll see you next Monday night for the next Monday Night Live. Thanks so much for the stars. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for hitting the thumbs and the likes and sharing and all that stuff. You guys are part of our Proper Human Diet family, and we love you just like family. I'll see you next week.